Well, as usual, we are back at it. Guy is up on the roof today looking at some post-high wind damages. Our area was slated for 20 to up to 50 mile an hour winds, and this is what we ended up with besides some broken tree branches. But our poor homemade chimney cap is in need of some repair. It took a tumble off the roof yesterday. Fortunately, it's made of heavy steel. If you look back on the videos, we used an old fuel oil barrel, so we had the natural curve of that going on. Guy's gonna take a mallet today. The weld that holds it on actually broke, and the turnbuckles held. We kind of thought maybe that was the problem, but after inspection, he's gonna do some repairs and get us back in order today. It's amazing the difference a week will make. We have snow on the roof and snow on the ground. Trey's getting to try out his snowblower that he got at a estate sale this summer. He's been my shoveling guy, and he can't wait for that. He had an electric snowblower, and we are doing some backhoe work with cow feeding.
Let me grab it.
Now this is our first winter feeding the cows with the backhoe with round bales. We've always just used our snow sled, like the hunting and fishing type, and that's always worked out really well with square bales because I could stack 3 bales on it. These guys get between 6 to 10 bales a day depending on how many cattle are in the pasture, and running the backhoe in this weather can be wet and sloppy. We added a bunch of gravel here earlier in the year because in the springtime we were noticing, you know, wet, mucky conditions. So I just shoveled away from the gate a little bit, and he's pulling it away. Normally he goes in with a bale on the front and a bale on the back. So for efficiency's sake, this is going to work out for today. You can see we've got lots of round bales stored up. The round baling with the wrapper was just awesome. We have so many saved. This one here says 89, so I know we've got at least 89 round bales, and we usually feed them 4 at a time. We were doing 2 at a time, but this kind of gives us a longer stretch. It's funny because we knew a snow was coming. All right, time to run the gate. But even though we've expected this weather, it seems like it always catches us. It never feels like you're ready, no matter what you do. So if you remember in the springtime and the very hot heat of the summer, I was cleaning all of the old bedding, straw, hay, all mixed together from away from the side of the fence. We originally started feeding the cows just in a row at the edge of the fence, and then we switched to round bale feeders. Even when we had square bales, we would throw the squares in the round bales, and then we started getting too many bowls and they just mangled the round bale feeders. It was better than just feeding them on the ground. There was less waste. So then we switched to these fuel tank containments. They're like a overflow or spill maintenance preventative thing, and they're excess from other jobs, so they've been converted to feeders. It's worked out really well, except when it snows and stuff, and well, so a roof area would be nice. Now we started with these containment feeders when we were feeding them silage. It worked out really good, but like I said, if it got too wet from weather, or if they were fussing about it, like if they got it from the edge of the silage pile versus the center of the silage pile where it was sweeter, they would pick through it and leave a lot behind. So with that manure pack gone and switching to this, 2 bales will last us several days. And then we started figuring out, well, we really can put 2 bales in each feeder, and that's worked out really well. And then we end up lasting about a week. You can see it's slightly messy, but definitely better than trying to go in there, and with bulls, you don't want to be risking falling down in this kind of muck. So the backhoe has been a huge everything to our farm and our personal lives. It's less wear and tear on our bodies for the physical work that we were doing. It was really nice all spring and summer. There's been a natural spring right through here and down in here, and it would just kind of run off here, and then that brush line is a creek, and we did not have to pump water daily. We found out that, you know, after we kind of left things alone, this was all originally a crop field, that it just was always wet. Turning this into a pasture was great for us, but we're back to doing it the old-fashioned way and having to reel out a 100 or 150 foot hose, which is a lot of work. I've had some help from the boys in that. You know, we try to make sure it's at least full once a day. That's usually enough with these. I think they're 100 gallons each. And then the hose can just be pulled out once a day, taken into the house garage where it's semi-heated, and then you don't have to deal with frozen hydrants. I've always thought someday we would put in a frost-free hydrant, but like the house has a frost-free hydrant and it's frozen, so I don't know if that really is working dependable. And we run an extension cord from the house just for the electric fence, so I don't want to break any breakers by having to add a heat tape also for that. So this is my hunting fishing sled that I talked about. It's called the Eagle Claw Chappelle Jet Sled, and you can put a deer on this and pull it in and out of the woods. You can put your fishing equipment on it and go out ice fishing. But you can see, like right now, I've got 2 bales stacked. If I need to take a third, I'll turn this one sideways and make a stack that way. And it generally works out pretty good. This is a very wet, packy snow today, and the sun was out. See, I can't even hardly pull it because the snow is so wet. But it's definitely a lot better than trying to pull it with my yellow garden cart or with a dolly, because the hay dolly is really good for other times of the year, but the sled works when it's wet, muddy, or snowy. And that works really great when the ground is hard. So my calves have been in here in the barn, weaned and totally on hay from their moms. They're all gone now, and been cleaning out the manure pile regularly, spending some time with these guys. So I've been pitching the manure out these openings here. That one's legitimately the way it's supposed to be. This is the former pig pens, and it's a nice dry, out of the wind area for these guys. He was, I think, born in March and she in June, and she was with her mom a little longer, so they're pretty equal in size. She had more of a head start with that milk, but you can see we've strawed them the last couple days. We just are using a water tank for their hay, and then water here. The low water does get a little bit of a trouble sometimes. They get excited when we get in there and they step in it, but it's small enough that we can grab buckets and bail it out to give them fresh water. Yeah, so probably in the next week or so I'll be taking some black tarps. The bulls were in here a little bit and we lost a little siding. The nice thing is, when it's so cold outside, we can do projects inside. So when we're done out there, George is done right now, he gets a hot bowl of some apple crisp. I had to process the rest of my apples today. Some of his leftover cocoa from this morning. That is bits of graham crackers. We have a nice collection of winter mugs. And then he can warm up and enjoy himself a nice little snack. And then after the rest of us are warmed up and have our snack, we're going to do haircuts for all the boys today. And if you saw right there, this is a supply list of different craft materials we save for making homemade arts and crafts. And we're going to be making some Christmas decorations today. But before we get to that arts and crafts and snacks, we are going to do some more snow blowing. I think he paid $45 for this. No, there was a sale and he got it for less. Anyways, it seems like it was about $26 or $30. He had a little electric one and it was okay, but you know, this is a big long driveway and he loves mowing. He's got videos of him mowing. So they've stolen the sled now, you can see. They don't want dirty snow. They fill the sled, they take it out back, and they make snow forts. All winter long, they move snow. I did notice about this being so wet and packy. He's only got a tire chain on one side right now because he did that repaint. And, oh, I guess he put in a new tube on it a while ago and valve stem and things. So we got to get that other tire chain on there because it seemed like he's a little bit uphill right now. It seemed like the non-chain side was slipping a little bit. No point making the job harder. So now instead of getting a giant manure pack, he makes a pile of manure, and every time he feeds them, or every other time depending on how frequently we're doing it, he makes a little pile and he pulls it out and he adds it to my barn pile, and then it goes out to the field and gets spread and recycled back to the farmland. So that's what is going on at the farm today. I hope this weather finds you all nice and warm and cozy. Have fun. We're trying to not decorate for Christmas, but on a day like today, it's hard not to. We're already starting to see Christmas music on the radio. There's a Christmas parade on TV tonight, and probably some others going on around town tonight and tomorrow. So that Christmas season is coming. Craft shows are going on, and this weather is just a reminder of the season and the hard work of homesteading that is to come. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.